Hello, everyone, and welcome. You are participating in the CEO Diaries. This is a regular weekly session hosted by me. I'm Lauren Dallas. I'm CEO of Future Females. And I can see we're now live everywhere that we should be. Facebook group, LinkedIn, YouTube. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Please do let me know as you join where you're joining from. I'm monitoring all of those platforms so we can interact. You can ask your questions. And as always, there's going to be a prize awarded at the end of this session to someone who interacts the most or ideally experience shares. The point of CEO Diaries is really to take you behind the scenes of Future Females, my company. And what we've been doing and what you've probably been seeing is launching our new platform that we spent the whole of last year building. And finally, we have our first members. And on Monday, we are opening the doors. I am so excited to finally launch officially. But of course, it's not always smooth sailing behind the scenes of a business, and particularly when you're working towards a launch that for us is very large comparatively to what we've done before. So what you'll see on socials, of course, is our marketing collateral, right? The benefits, the features, what's going well, the hype we're building up to the launch. The point of CEO Diaries is to really take you behind that gloss and share with you what are the struggles so that you hopefully don't have to face the same ones. What are some of the really difficult decisions that we've been making, right or wrong? And what are some of the strategies that we've been implementing, and have they been working or not? So that's what CEO Diaries is all about. And as I said, there's prizes for interaction. The prize is going to be free access to one of our best performing courses ever. It's called the Level Up Launch Library. And I've selected this as the prize. It's worth around $200 because it's all about launching. It gives you everything you need to run a successful launch, from our own launch Trello board through to a launch strategy training, through to how to launch on LinkedIn, on Instagram, with partners. And it really goes into a lot of depth in each of those topics. So if you are looking at launching your business or a product or service, this is going to be a training that will really help you and give you the step-by-step. And all you have to do is say hi, which I can see everyone has already started doing. So thank you so much. Today's topic for CEO Diaries is very close to my heart, and it is all about business strategy. Strategy is such an interesting word. I think it's so overused, and we often use it to mean many different things that might seem different in terms of semantics, but this is what strategy means to me and how we use it at Future Females. So we think, of course, about our business objectives at the highest level. What is it that we're aiming for? And that is typically our business vision or purpose. It's often not measurable. It is like why we exist. At Future Females, we exist to increase the number of female entrepreneurs globally and give them access to everything they need to become successful in those businesses. That is our larger purpose. A level below that, we have our objectives. So this is what is it that we want to achieve. For us, again, we have a big, hairy, audacious goal to be in every city that needs us. So everywhere that there are female entrepreneurs feeling unsupported. And on that note, I just reviewed our Future Female survey yesterday. Thank you for filling it in, those of you that did. We asked you, how supported do you feel generally in the market? And the response was 4.2 out of 10. So that's what lights me up. Not the fact that you're not feeling supported, but the fact that there is this massive gap to close. Below that problem statement and target is the how. Strategy is your how. How are you going to get there? And for us, again, that's why we launched our new platform. That is our how we're going to move the needle. We are going to welcome members into this platform and support them on their business journey step by step. I think there's a common misconception that the business plan, like your action steps, are the strategy. But actually, the strategy is in between the goals and the action steps. They each feed each other. But it's It's often skipping over that strategy that can lead to overwhelm when it does come to your action plans. So that's why I'm particularly passionate about running this session. And it's what we've been spending a lot of, particularly my time, the last month on, is documenting the strategy in detail. So I'm going to go into what should be in a strategy. And as you can imagine, there are many, many different models for this. The model that I like is called the Collis model. And actually, before I did Future Females, I used to be a management consultant in customer strategy. So this is something that I've learned, I've implemented across many different industries and types of businesses, and I've brought into the work we do at Future Females, and it adapts really nicely to an early stage startup. It's also very simple, so I'm going to share it with you. The Collis model basically says there are 3 aspects to your business strategy. Number 1 is your objective. What are your goals and aspirations? And this is broken down not just at your lofty goal level, but to your financials. Even if you are a purpose-led business or a nonprofit, I also run a nonprofit, Future Females has both, you still need cash flow to manage your business. So that is where your goals and aspirations come into, and we'll go deeper into it. The second is your scope. So first is objective, second is scope. Where are you going to compete? What markets, what customers, what products? If we don't put a tight enough scope around our business, then we can end up spreading ourselves way too thin, particularly if you are building an early stage startup. We need to get our scope as tight as possible. And then thirdly is your advantage. How are you going to compete? What is your value proposition and why is it different? What is your pricing against competitors in the market? And what is your source of advantage? What are customers thinking, this is why I work with this business? And this, we often think about features, but it could be your brand. It could be you as the founder and people getting to know and loving you and having shared values. So hello, yay, I see so many more people joining from Benmore, from Johannesburg, which is where I'm currently sitting, even from Australia, amazing. Okay, cool. So they're the 3 components, and hopefully it's going to be fairly simple to walk through it. I'm going to walk you through it in the context of Future Females, because of course, that's what I've been doing. Please ask your questions as I go through. And you'll note that the 3 things in this strategy framework, objective, scope, advantage, does not include your day-to-day tasks. So literally, you can think of this as a strategic document of your unique approach to your business. And why this is powerful is a lot of people probably share a similar purpose. A lot of organizations out there are focused on the upliftment of female entrepreneurs, but they're doing it all in different ways. Our approach, our scope is education and community. Someone else's approach, for example, a freelancer marketplace, is access to employment, access to finances. So you can see, like, that's why the strategy comes in, because otherwise you can get lost trying to do too many things, which is a typical mode I find myself in a lot of the time. And that's why the strategy is important. Okay, great. So let's get into element 1, which is the objective, the goals and aspirations. So firstly, whatever your goal is, and our goal for this year is to reach 3,000 members of Future Females of our new platform. Also, let me know if you're already a member. I'd love to celebrate you in the chat. That is our lofty goal. There are lots of different ways that we can get there, and the different ways are going to cost different amounts of money, right? We could spend on advertising. We could spend on headcount. I could invest my own time, which I also put an amount to. So thinking about what amount of money are you going to need to invest to achieve that goal? This is what's typically known as your top-down approach. So you're starting with the goal and you're saying, cool, this is how much money I need. Once you've done that, and often it's kind of a spitball, right? You might have never executed different strategies before, but you want to get a ballpark. You'll look at that amount of time and money and go, can I actually do this? Do I have this available? If you don't have it available, are you willing to go and seek funding? Or are you perhaps willing to bring the goal and target down? This is commercial validation of the target that you've set for your business, right? So that's top down. The other thing that you do is then work bottom up. So let's say our goal of 3,000 users, or let's say maybe I set a goal of 10,000 users. And when I did our top down approach, I was like, okay, I need $500,000 to actually deliver on that, which I don't have. Therefore, and I'm not going to go and get funding. So I'm going to reduce my target to 3,000. Then you do your bottom up approach. Cool. So then using the budget that I've got, what are the different ways that I can possibly get to that target? This is what I've been working on in the last week. And this is typically called scenario modeling. So looking at your historicals in your business, if you have them, or if you don't, spitballing, it's fine. We're all going to guesstimate the first time we do different things. I would encourage you to model out different, basically marketing approaches. For example, we're launching next week, but after that, we'll go into evergreen for the platform. Shirley, I see your message. I'm going to come back to you straight away afterwards. Thanks for sharing your email. And yay, so many members. Lise Marie and Shirley and Beulah. I'm not sure if that was in response to my comment, but amazing. Cool. So what we do is we forecast marketing strategies. For example, and one of the ones that I love to use is thinking about your organic content on social media versus social media advertising. I'm a massive advocate for paid ads because once they're up and running, you can learn, you can optimize every day. Your results can get better and better, and it doesn't take up so much of your time. You're going to create the ads initially, but then they just run and they'll keep running to new people, which is how you build awareness of your business, right? On the flip side, and a lot of people love the organic social media strategy. And so just comparing the two, ads, you're obviously spending money every day. Organic, you're really investing time every day. Or maybe you have a freelancer who's doing it for you and you're paying their salary. So literally mapping out your input and your expected output for each of your key approaches. I think I can do a deep dive on different marketing strategies with you in a couple of weeks. I'll share our actual results from our waitlist. And Zara, I'm seeing your comment here. Let me do it in 2 weeks. I'll go back and I'll share, we call it our postmortem. I look back on exactly what worked and what didn't and our conversions by channel. For your strategy though, you just want to get a ballpark. So you want to think about what are all the different things I could do. Organic, webinar funnels, maybe you're doing direct sales, maybe you have partnerships, perhaps you could work with influencers. The problem isn't that there's too few things that work. The problem is that there's too many. So you want to just list them and estimate what you think they could deliver. List them. How much is it going to cost you? How much time would you need to invest? And what is your expected result? Those 4 things alone will help you decide what are like the top three that you're actually going to do in the foreseeable future, this year or this quarter, depending on how much capacity you have. Why I like this exercise, and I'd love to know if some of you have done this actually. Put a yes in the chat if you've done this kind of comparative approach exercise, the scenario modeling, or put a no in if you haven't. I can actually share a template. I'll just make a note to do it at the end. Strategy template, cool. Often we just go, oh, all of my competitors are on YouTube, so I need to start a YouTube channel. And when I speak to entrepreneurs, when I'm coaching them, and I'm like, great, how much time is it going to take you? How much is it going to cost you? And how many leads do you think you're going to get from YouTube? How many qualified leads each week or each month? And often we haven't done that due diligence for ourselves. So we just start making YouTube videos and then we go, oh, my channel's not growing. It takes more and more of our time than we initially thought. And actually there's an opportunity cost because we're not doing something else. We do not have capacity to do everything in our businesses, right? That's where the overwhelm comes in. So this helps you make smart decisions. What I encourage everyone to have are your, let me call them like foundational approaches, and then your experimental. So coming back to your strategy, right? Being the how, this is helping you to get to the how. Pick 2 things that you know will work for you. For us, that is Instagram organic content, and it is actually, we have 3. I'm saying pick 2 only, but we do have 3. One is Instagram organic. The second is paid Facebook and Instagram ads. And the third are hosting free masterclasses, events, and webinars, which I also love doing because I get to speak with all of you. They're foundational because we know they work. We're going to keep doing them daily, weekly. We have people operationalized in those roles too. Even if it's just you, what are your most confident strategies and things that will run on evergreen? Evergreen meaning it's not a launch. Launches are amazing for quick injections of money and the excitement of quickly bringing new customers into your business. But the day after the launch ends, you're back at square one. So think about that. Maybe you're going to plan 2 launches this year, but what are your evergreen approaches that are always on? For us, as I said, Instagram organic, paid ads, and then monthly webinars. That's going to be the bulk of your strategy, and I would suggest the bulk of your time, even if it's not the really sexy stuff. You can also then have your experimental strategies. And this is where you're like, this might work, but it might not. And perhaps you have no data already in your business to validate that it would or not. Maybe you've seen a lot of my competitors using influencers, and that could work for me. So I'm going to test it. This is one of our strategies at Future Females. Test partnering with influencers. We don't know if it's going to work. So I'm not investing a lot of time. Personally, I'm not investing a lot of money, but a little bit has been invested because we do have a staff member working on it. And we have a small target. We're working with 20 influencers only. We're going to run the entire campaign with those 20. And then we're going to learn in about 3 months if it worked or not. And if it does, great. We move it into our foundational strategy bucket because it's proven and we'll keep using it. Or if it doesn't work, then we'll either scrap it or we'll test it as a different experiment. So I think the bottom line here is we've talked about our objective and making sure you have your financial objective documented, your target revenue, but also really good visibility of your costs so that you know that you do actually have access to the inputs to achieve your output. Because it sucks if you just set a really lofty goal, you start working towards it and you're like, I actually cannot hit it. I'm going to be as creative as possible, but I don't have the inputs. So that's step 1. Step 2 is what we're talking about now, your scope. So that is looking at your marketing approaches, making sure you have your foundational proven tactics documented, and then 1 or 2 experiments. Obviously, you might have loads of experiment ideas. Pick 1 or 2, do them for 3 months, learn, and then go on to the next. Cool. And then part 3 is, in that scope, just to make sure I'm covering it off in enough detail, you have your strategies, but you also want to have your who. So who are you trying to reach? I know this sounds so obvious. Obviously, at Future Females, we're trying to reach female entrepreneurs. Great. But that doesn't help me make smart decisions about where to spend money, right? So make sure you get into granular enough detail about your who, and particularly aligning that granular detail to targeting criteria that different tools allow for you. So what I mean by that is, and I'm going to use Instagram as an example because most of us are on there, right? Instagram allows you to target people based on their gender. Great for me, based on their age, based on their location, based on their interests and different pages that they follow, based on whether they're a business page admin or not, their activity on the platform, lots and lots of different criteria. And it's actually worth going through and just noting which type of criteria aligns to your business or not. For example, one of the criteria that we use is frequent traveler, which sounds totally random because we're not a travel business, but it's been a really nice proxy for disposable income. So learning what you can use to reach people online and then bringing that back to how you define your audience. So for us, one of the things I've been doing actually last night was looking at who's joined the platform so far and what geographies they're in. Firstly, I was amazed at the geographic scope that we have. We have people from like 15 different countries already inside the platform, but there are definitely geographies that converted better than others and cheaper, and also that I didn't necessarily expect. So what I did was look at everyone on our wait list and everyone that signed up and just looked at the conversion. So markets that I expected to do well, like South Africa did, markets where we had a lot of uptake and I expected not to convert so well. For example, Kenya for us, we did get members signing up, but the conversion rate was quite low. But then our top performing markets were actually Germany, Netherlands, and Dubai. We have a presence, a Future Females presence in each of those countries, but I didn't expect them to outperform South Africa, for example. And actually, if I look at the raw numbers, they didn't. But when I look at the conversion, the list number on the list through to who actually signed up, they performed 3 times as well 2 to 3 times across the 3 countries. So you may not have this data, also fine, but you'll keep it in mind for your next writing of your strategy. If you do have this data, use it to document your who. Because now my strategy is doing those foundational marketing executions and my experiments specifically to people in my top 4 markets. And I can tell you very honestly that if I hadn't looked at that data, I would not be targeting those geographies. If it was a thumbsuck, I would just, it wouldn't have been the exact scope. And then probably the business wouldn't grow as well as it's going to in the next few months. I could talk about data all day, but I think that's the most important. So your scope literally is your who and your how in terms of your marketing approach. That's the second part of your business strategy. So part 1 was objective, and this is the Collis model if anyone wants to look it up. Part 1 was your objective, part 2 was your scope, part 3 is then your advantage. So what part 2 gives you is reach. This is how you're going to reach people. Part 3 advantage is why would they buy? Right? I can tell you about the platform or I can reach you all day long. But if I'm not positioning Future Females in a way that is aligned to your needs, then you're not going to be interested anyway. So, so that's what advantage does. To put this simply, what goes in advantage is why are you different is a good place to start. Everyone has competitors or what I like to call comparators. What are the other solutions people are comparing you against and deciding, will I work with you or will I not? Will I buy from you or will I buy from them? Or will I buy nothing? Which is also a comparative option, right? So you need to know why people should care and why should they invest. A good place to start is literally just listing all of the reasons why you're different. For us, for example, we are a 100% female-owned, when we have male staff, but 100% female-owned and female-focused organization. So it is literally built for women by women who understand. Secondly, we are providing courses that are created by founders, not by people who are educators, and nothing against that. But in entrepreneurship, you don't want to learn from someone who hasn't implemented. You want to learn from someone who has learned, implemented, learned again, learned the hard way, put in the effort, and proven success with the strategies so that you can trust them, because there's so much out there. So the curation and the quality of creator is the term we're using of the courses is also one of our differentiators against something like a Udemy. They're just 2. There's obviously lots, and for your business it would be different, but sitting and being like, what are all of the reasons I would buy from me instead of from them, whoever them is for you? That's the start of your advantage section in your strategy. Ultimately, what you want to do is bring that down to your differentiated value proposition. And this is your single sentence, really. And you can have many. At the moment, we have many that we're testing. But ultimately, you'll have one sentence that explains the value. When I say we have many, we literally have 6. because we're launching a new platform. I don't know which value proposition is going to be most impactful for you guys. So I'm running ads and you'll see them, and it has each value proposition on a different ad. And in about a month, I'll have a look and I'll be like, okay, cool, this is the most important differentiator. For example, two of the ones that we're running are the courses versus community. So access courses from world-class founders who have proven success with their strategies over time and time again. That's value proposition option 1. Value proposition option 2 is join a like-minded community of female entrepreneurs all building their businesses together. So you can see very different from each other. Maybe both will work, amazing. But what I'll learn from this is, are you more excited about the content to implement in your business, or are you more excited about the opportunity to connect with other Future Females members? Not only will this help with conversion, right, offering people what they really need so that they sign up, it'll also help with everything else in the business. Like, what features are we going to build next? Should it be more courses or should it be more community elements? What features can we retire? What type of live events or activations or even launches are we going to host? Are we going to do an in-person summit because it's all about the community? Or are we going to do an online challenge in partnership with a really credible creator because it's about content? So hopefully you can see how that third section, advantage, can help you in all of the different functions of your business. Cool. I think I'm going to pause there. I know this is quite a lot. So please let me know if you have any questions and I can get into it. Also, what I'm going to do is, if you want to get this as a downloadable, send a DM strategy to Future Females on Instagram or to me, Lauren.Dallas, and we'll send you back the model that I've just spoken through. So the strategic model is called the Collis model, and it's made up of those 3 elements: objective, scope, and advantage. And then a little worksheet as well that goes into the key questions to answer underneath it. So just DM us strategy and we'll send it over to you. But do let me know if you have any questions now. Let me have a quick look. Sarah, if we need a Google Sheets template. Perfect. Yes, I will give that to you. It's actually it's a PowerPoint, but still, just send us a DM and I'll share it with you. Lauren, yay, already in the platform, enjoying the blockchain course, feel educated already. I'm so happy to hear that. I personally loved recording the blockchain course. I think it was the thing I knew the least about. Devin, our creator, is incredible, built up a team of 50 blockchain consultants, mostly women all around the world executing blockchain projects. So who better to learn from? Okay, cool. So I don't think there are any questions, and it's probably because it's been quite a lot, but do reach out if you have any questions later. So send us a DM strategy on Instagram. I'll send you back the template. If you have questions as you're documenting your strategy, come back to me, ask me on Instagram. It's probably the easiest way, and I'll happily support. But I would advise carving out time to do this. My personal approach, actually, I have Fridays blocked for strategy work. I used to find it very difficult because strategy is thinking, right, rather than doing. And so often I'll get to the end of a Friday and be like, have I even done anything? But actually, it's this thinking work that is some of the most valuable in your business and also impossible to delegate. No one else can define your business strategy for you. You can, of course, get support from experts, leverage frameworks, but this is your baby, your brainchild. So it's the work you need to do. So I call it my strat vacay days because I always go and sit at a different cafe or swimming pool or whatever. And I treat it like a vacation. Close my laptop, do it on a notepad, and then type them up at the end of the day. So perhaps some of you will enjoy following that approach as well. Let me pop this one up. S-Marie, hello. Thank you for joining. S-Marie is one of our ambassadors in Pretoria. So if any of you are based there, please do reach out to them on Instagram and attend one of their upcoming events. What would you suggest if a founder can't invest in paid media? I have a pretty blunt approach to this. I think that time is money, right? And I actually spend a lot of time thinking about the trade-off between the two. If you literally have no money, then you have to invest time. And I did this at the start of my business. My first program was selling Facebook ads, and I didn't have enough money to invest in Facebook ads. So I hustled and I spent all of my time, I call it scraping leads, in Facebook groups, in LinkedIn groups, attending networking events, finding new people. I think a typical approach is like, I'll just post organic social content, but it's so hard and slow to grow. So if you need money, then you have to go the hustle route and do what I did. I actually even reached out to one partner on LinkedIn per day. Some of you would have heard this. I aimed to have a coffee with someone new every day that I thought could support the growth of my business in a certain way. So lean into networking and lean into forums where there already are large numbers of people in your specific target audience and become known in there. Act like that's your community while you're building your own community. Then as soon as you have a little bit of profit, reinvest it in your business in paid ads. I literally cannot say enough how important it is to have a paid media strategy. You can reach, I was trying to think about our video stats just now because I was reviewing them yesterday. I can't remember exactly, but I think we spent like $20 on a video and reached 5,000 new people in our specific target audience. How long would it take you to reach 5,000 new people with your organic social media content? It could, depending on how many followers you already have, you're relying on reshares, you're relying on people following tags. That is just not a good approach to grow quickly. So even for $20, you can reach that many new people and start building your brand awareness. So you don't need to have a big budget for paid media, but I really would suggest having a budget. Also, because then you'll be able to learn. Let's say you have $5 a day that you can put into your paid ads. Amazing. Invest it and learn. I'm just going to pop this one up. I paid for Facebook marketing. My hits were everything but the target market. Raised a query, once bitten, twice shy. Awesome. I'm so glad that you shared this. So this is often also the story that I hear when it comes to paid marketing, that you've done it and it didn't work. And so now you're not doing it anymore. The good thing about paid is that you keep learning. Every single day you can tweak and you can optimize, and then finally it will work. And finally, hopefully, is like a week, not a year. There's a few things that could have happened in your situation. Number one is you might have had your targeting too broad. Often when we're targeting, we add in everything we think could make sense for us. For example, if I use future females, I could target people in all English-speaking countries where we have a chapter. Obviously, our ads are in English. That's why I say that. We do host events in different languages, though, but not by me. So English-speaking countries, female, any age, could be an aspiring entrepreneur. So maybe it's someone in a job, could be a current entrepreneur. So it could be someone who says they're a founder. That's going to be millions of people. The problem with that is there's so much diversity inside that group that I can turn it on and get a volume of people that are just wrong and think, oh, this doesn't work for me. What I advise is creating small groups of target audiences and then running ads to each of them. So what we do is, for example, I'll set up like Dubai, this age group, this capital city, and it might be between 100 and 300,000 in that target audience. That's how I've seen the most success. It's very specific, Alberton region, therapists, 35 to 50. Interesting. I mean, it's hard for me to know exactly what happened without looking at it, but two things I would suggest interrogating. Number one, Facebook has this like little checkbox, which is often the cause of this. And it says, allow Facebook to expand targeting criteria for me. Turn that off. If you're not getting good results, turn that off. Stick to what you know, because Facebook doesn't necessarily yet know your target audience. And then the second thing is targeting therapists. I'm not sure how you did that because it's not my target audience, but just check if you were using interest-based targeting or job title, because I imagine you want to use job title and then hopefully that'll reach the right people for you. But often the interest targeting sneaks in. And if it's interested in therapy or therapists, then you're obviously going to get the therapist's audiences rather than them themselves. So there, see, Keleneha, that button is the devil. It really is the devil, and it's well hidden. So check that button off, and then make sure your targeting is title rather than interest. Hope that helps. Oh, I could speak about ads all day. I absolutely love it. But I want to circle back to two things. One, the topic, which was business strategy, and say thank you for sitting with me through this. The simple framework, the Collis model, objective, scope, advantage. Your strategy doesn't have to be wildly laborious. Take a day, block Friday, have a strat vacay day virtually with me, and just get it down, because it will help you later with how you allocate your resources. Then the second thing is, of course, awarding the prize from this session. Every CEO Diary session, we award a prize, and it is to someone who has interacted. So it's very simple to win, and it's an amazing prize. It's worth $200, and it is access to our Level Up Launch library. This includes how to launch through partnerships on Instagram, on LinkedIn, gives you our Trello launch template, goes into launch strategy, literally everything that you could need. So the prize is going to go to, and unfortunately your name is not pulling through, and I'm not sure why, but I'm going to pop up your comment, and it is this lovely LinkedIn user. Please let me know your name. I'm not sure why it's not pulling through. You might have a private profile, but I've been enjoying your comments and questions throughout. So congratulations, and thank you for joining and interacting. So much more fun for me when we're having a conversation. Please send us a DM with your email address, and I will get that prize right back over to you. For everyone else, tune in next week. We're always here, same time, same place, different topic. And if you would like, firstly, this is live streamed. So if you missed the start and you want to revisit the strategy component, you can rewatch it as soon as this has ended. And if you would like my template, send us a DM that just says strategy on Instagram to Future Females or to me, Lauren.Dallas, and I'll send that workbook right over to you. Yolanda, amazing. We have a name. Congratulations, Yolanda. Very excited to share this material with you. Otherwise, thank you all for joining. Really enjoyed it and hope that you got value out of it. If you've just joined now, Esther, I see your comment. It's recorded, so don't worry. And I will see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.